Now, as I was saying, it's not necessary that they'll ask 10 marks question for each topic. No. It depends, students. I have seen at times they've asked 8 mark questions from maybe national income, 12 marks from public finance, maybe 8 marks from money market, 12 marks from international trade, something like this. You can ask 10 marks also. There is no rule as such. But beta, one thing should be very clear. Economics for finance is very interesting. Beta, today, voice broking, that is all what I can do. Adjust for some time, I'll see. Okay, so economics for finance, bacha, the subject is very interesting, a bit difficult. See, you will not pass just like that. It will not be a cakewalk. You'll have to put in efforts. Beta, in this 40 marks, maybe 30 to 32 marks theory questions will be there. 8 to 10 marks students, sums may be there. May or may not be there. Okay? So it all depends. So I said it all depends, students. Sums may be asked, may not be asked. Okay. But 30 to 32 marks student theory questions, 8 to 10 marks sums, practical sums, where you can score full marks. And I can assure you that if you attend lectures regularly, understand the concepts, you will not only enjoy, but you can get good marks also. I will ensure that you get good marks. Plus, I can take care, students, of the fact that many times FM paper would be a bit difficult, so this can be a scoring place as such, right? Now, Harshvardhan, kidhar gaya beta? Put on the video. The first topic that we have is national income, determination of national income. In that, the first chapter we have is called as national income accounting. Please pay attention. Ganpati Bappa, Moria, I'll start, bacha. All of you kindly pay attention. See, the first thing that arises, students, the basic background that I want you to know is that since the time we've got independence, after that, you know, in my country, we used to have the Central Planning Commission. Central Planning Commission used to make 5-year plans, right? Since the time Modi became the Prime Minister, Modi is something, uncle did what? Uncle, instead of CPC, introduced Niti Aayog. You should know these things. What is Niti? Jinesh, kuch idea hai beta? Niti is National Institute for Transforming India. So Modi ji has thinking. Central Planning Commission used to prepare 5-year plans. इधर बेटा एक दिन का plan नहीं होता है बराबर. You can't implement properly, let us say, 3 months ka plan properly. 5-year plan is too big a period. Getting my point? So Modi ji said, nahi, CPC should be replaced by Niti Aayog. And we should know, Amitabh Kant is today the chairman of Niti Aayog. Why I'm saying this? Because I asked this in the exam. Listen now, pay attention. Central Planning Commission used to always say that we make plans to achieve one basic objective. And what is that objective they wanted to achieve? They wanted to achieve the objective of economic growth. Now, beta, what is economic growth? Very simple. economic growth, we say, is a process where a country's, pay attention, national income rises, increases over a longer period of time. I repeat, beta. I said we in a country would make plans. Why we would make plans? We would make plans, students, to achieve economic growth. What is economic growth? It's a process where a country's national income rises over a longer period of time. But think about it. We make plans for growth. Growth is there if national income rises. So if I want to understand whether I've achieved growth or not, getting my point? India wants economic growth. So have we achieved growth? If yes, then how do I know? For that, I have to measure national income. So, beta, measurement of national income has become mandatory in a country. We have to measure. Why we have to measure? Every country measures national income. Reason is simple, Vacha. You come to know the economic growth of an economy. Second point. What is economic growth? I said increase in national income. Yesterday I was taking one lecture, so I asked one student, what is national income? He said, with a voice, please bear for some time. One second. Shiva, कुछ कर सकता है बेटा? Voice break हो रहा है. नहीं क्लियर हो. मैं ये सब बंद करूँ इसलिए नहीं हो सकता. इसमें भी आवाज नहीं आएगी. उनको लोग एयर कर दो. वीडियो इज आल्सो लैगिंग. मेरा भी क्या होगा? मेरा तो नेट पे है. तेरा भी इधर वो लगा दे. और दो चार्जिंग की जरूरत नहीं है. वन सेकंड बेटा, अभी 95 है. अभी क्या है? यहाँ पे नेटवर्क उधर रखो, वो साइड रखो. सर वाईफाई और राउटर के पास जाके बैठ जाओ ना. बेटा नहीं है ना वाईफाई. आई एम नॉट सिटिंग नियर द वाईफाई. आई एम यूजिंग दिस हॉटस्पॉट. मेरा वाईफाई ऑन कर दो इधर का. कर सकता है आइडिया कर सकते हो ना. अगर चालू होता गुड. वाईफाई से अगर होता है तो अच्छा.
तो पूछो वो लड़के से, पूछो उनका कौन सा है ये। इंटरनेट कनेक्शन फर्स्ट, मुझे पता ही था ये कला कर। वो बोलो भाई, सो अभी यही एक अभी बोलो इशू है अभी तो करो फिर।
तो वैसे लेक्चर नहीं ले सकते। Now, beta, audible? Yes. नहीं, वंश तो आ गया क्या? Audible? So for some time, beta, please bear. I'm sorry for this today. In my complex, there is electricity problem. Yes, please. Thank you. Pay attention. So I was telling students, my country, we want to calculate national income so that we get an idea about economic growth. That's the first thing. Second thing, who calculates India's national income? Any idea? Chalo bolo abhi. Who calculates India's national income? Tax department. Yes. नहीं नहीं बेटा, हाँ नहीं नहीं. Niti Aayog doesn't calculate national, but Niti Aayog is the one which makes plans for the country. National Accounts Department of the Central Statistical Organization. Please remember, huh? CSO, Central Statistical Organization. This is an organization specially established for the purpose of calculating India's national income. Now, beta, please bear with me. I'm sorry for what is happening today. This is the best I could have made. So repeat fast. First thing, what did I said? My country used to have Central Planning Commission. Now we are having what? Niti Aayog, National Institute for Transforming India. Second, we make plans to achieve economic growth. Economic growth means increase in national income over a longer period of time. To know whether we have got growth or not, we have to calculate national income. Who calculates national income? The Central Statistical Organization. Yes, yes. Niti Aayog beta is established in place of CPC. I'll tell you a simple point, beta. Pay attention. Everything that Modi does is not wrong. This was one of the right thing he did. Reason is, beta, you make plans for 3 months, 6 months. Think properly. And Government of India would make plan for 5 years. Another problem is what these ministers come to power for 5 years and they make hay while the sun shines. You getting my point? मारवाड़ी बहुत पैसा कमा लेते हो लोग और फिर बच्चा once that is done they are gone, then some other particular person comes. So Modi was of the opinion, why to make plans for 5 years? We should have yearly plans. So where is he wrong? He's right, na? So bachcha, CSO calculates our national income so that we are able to achieve economic growth. First basic point. Now the question is, what is national income? So I was telling you I think one student yesterday or day before yesterday was taking this lecture. He said, sir, if one person's income is personal income, then a country's income is national income. Perfect. Then students, he did a Rahul Gandhi of himself. What did he say? Sir, if you add all the personal income of the people in the country, then you get national income. Shri Prasanna, that is wrong, na beta. Adding the personal income doesn't give you national income. Reason is simple. Beta, one person's income becomes other person's expenditure. Barabar hai? Your dad earned income. That was his personal income. So, beta, dad paid the fees to JK Shah classes. So, your dad's income became what? His expenditure and income of JK sir. So, had I counted his income there also and here also, and then JK sir gives salary to the teachers, then our income also, then it is not double, triple, it is counting only and counting. So that will make a political establishment very happy that we came to power and national income increased so much. तो बोला बंधु ऐसा नहीं होता है. So this is wrong, na beta. Adding personal income of every individual give me national income, nahi. So best understanding is what? Very easy. What do I do with the income that I earn? Come on, मारवाड़ी क्या करेगा income से? Bread खाएगा? खाली bread खाएगा? नहीं, तो बच्चा बहुत कुछ खाएगा ना. सर्विस लेगा, क्लासेस में पढ़ेगा, राजे के जैसे बैठेगा, सुबह से खा रहा है कभी से. यश कोठारी देखो. तो बच्चा, what is it? I earn income. Obviously, I earn income. You earn income. We all earn income. For what? To buy goods and services. So, beta, national income is what? We say national income is the money value of all goods and services. Pay attention. Now, in one of the beta, please listen. Because of the disturbance, I wanted to share a few things with you. But over a period of time, I'll be able to do that. But listen, in your exam, all questions that they ask now is of 2 to 3 marks. So if it's a 2-3 mark question, they ask many questions. Yeah, no, Hindi language, only English language. Sorry. So I repeat, beta. A Marwadi, I told her that was just प्यार से. ये अच्छा बच्चा है ना इसके लिए. अच्छा नहीं है. Shaitan bachcha hai. In the sense, this is just not related to academics. Pay attention. Now, when I say money value of all goods and services, so the question arises, why we earn income? We all earn income to buy goods and services. So money value of all those goods and services can be one way to calculate national income. The second way would be what, students? To produce these goods and services, there are factor payments that are made. Like in the sense, who makes these goods and services? These goods and services will be made by, come on, tell me, factors of production. That means what? The goods will be made by the land, labor, capital, and enterprise. So, bacha, the other way of understanding national income would be you add all this particular income that is earned by the people in the process of making goods and services. The third understanding could be we earn income to buy goods and services. So, beta, when we buy goods and services, what are we doing? We are incurring expenditure. So mind you, national income would be having triple identity. You can calculate it on the basis of goods and services produced. To produce goods and services, bacha, I need factors of production. These factors of production have to be rewarded. So I give the factor income. And I earn income to spend money, that is expenditure. Now please, bacha, first thing I've said over here, only relevant to student, CSO. CSO, National Accounts Department students, they have, which calculates our national income. Why? Because we want to achieve economic growth and to know how much growth we have achieved. Now, beta, let's start. Pay attention, please. Now, something very interesting, important will start today. We'll start with question number 2. Please pay attention. And I request you, first topic, it will take a bit time. This is a technical topic. Everything should be clear, otherwise, bachas, you'll find difficulty in solving the sums. So, bear with me. You have no other option, students. You have to pay attention. It's good for you. First thing it says, define national income and explain the usefulness of national income estimates. Please understand a bit. What it says, national income is defined as the net value. Okay, pay attention. Now, what do we mean by net value? But a net would mean what? Gross minus depreciation. Am I right? Your dad purchased a car for 10 lakh of rupees and it is parked down only by lockdown. Bombay mein to lockdown, bacha, we don't go out. Last 1 year, I don't know. We have not sat also in the car. So bacha, car is there only. New car was bought. Today, if I go to sell, do I get 10 lakh rupees for that car? Can you tell me? 10 lakh मिलेगा मानोड़े नहीं मिलेगा ना तो बच्चा value has become less. So I should not take the value students at which I have bought, but I should deduct the value of depreciation. So it should be gross minus depreciation. Chalo. Net value of all economic goods and services. Come on, one of you please tell me what is economic goods and services? Think properly. Economic goods and services will be those services which are sold, which are bought with the consideration involved. In the sense, I wanted students to take this lecture. So in order to take the lecture, I had to buy this pen tab, economic good. I'm hungry, I buy a particular packet of chips, economic good. But my son's love for me is non-economic good. बराबर है मारवाड़ी समझ में आया? It can be some other love also. Don't get in the wrong direction. But the idea is what, students? All those particular things which are without any money consideration are free goods, right? And all for which you have to pay something is economic goods. Come on, repeat. National income is defined as the net value of all economic goods and services produced within the domestic territory of a country in an accounting year plus net factor. Wait, first let's understand. What is domestic territory of a country? Can anyone tell me now? चलो बेटा, domestic territory क्या होगा? Within India, the borders of a country. That is incomplete information. So within India, now, thank you very much. Chennai, let me now start. Beta, first of all, the political frontiers of a country is fine. The political boundaries of a country is fine. But in the outskirts of the political boundary, the 12 nautical miles of sea that is there is also part of India. First thing, I repeat, political boundary student from Kashmir to Kanyakumari and these two sides students east and west, India. But besides that 12 nautical miles of sea which is there, water that is there is also part of India. Second, pay attention, this is interesting and important. If there is an Air India plane which is on a journey from London to Doha, why I'm saying London to Doha? Because when I came from London to Mumbai, the flight had landed first in Doha. So, bacha, Air India plane, which is from London to Doha, also becomes a part of the domestic territory. There is a particular ship which is in Hong Kong port. That is also India. International waters. एक मिनट बेटा. That is what I'm saying now, bacha. Please pay attention. International waters which are there we have students. What? There we have oil and natural gas rigs, floating platforms which are used to extract oil. If an Indian company has taken that as such and is using it for extracting students oil or natural gas, that also becomes a domestic territory. If there is an Indian embassy in Dubai, that is also our domestic territory. Please understand, beta, what I'm trying to say. Within the political boundaries is a country. Then ships, planes outside the country, but they are Indian owned, is a part of domestic territory. I said oil and natural gas rigs in the international waters, domestic territory. Embassies, consulates of Indian government in some foreign country is also a part of Indian government territory. It actually means this also. If in India, bacha, there is American embassy, then that's not a part of our domestic territory. It becomes a part of their domestic territory. Please be very clear. I'll give a note on this, students, but first understand. So I say, repeat a bit fast, come on, tell me. National income is defined as the net value. All of you, come on, jaldi bolo. Net is clear. Net Y, come on, it is gross minus depre. Then of all economic goods. Yes, of all economic goods and services produced within the domestic territory of a country. Domestic territory is clear in an accounting year, plus the net factor income from abroad. Net factor income from abroad ka matlab bacha receipts minus payment. Mind you, very simple it is. My brother, my sister, my uncle, my auntie who's working abroad. So, bacha, that person who's working abroad, what he or she does, they earn income and send a part of their income to our country. So that is net factor income, that is factor income from abroad. Then there are some people, beta, who are in India who are foreign citizens. They earn income in India, and from India they send income abroad. So that is income sent abroad. When I take the difference of these two, I get net factor income from abroad. Matlab, meaning 100 rupees we get from foreign country, 40 rupees we give over there. So 60 rupees is the net factor income from abroad. Now, if I ask a 2-mark question, students, very possibility, define national income. So this is what you have to write and explain. Chalo, repeat fast, all of you. National income is defined as what? Jaldi bol, bhanodi bol. Net value. What value? Come on, tell me. Net value of what goods? Economic goods and services produced where? Within the domestic territory of a country. Where? In an accounting year. Plus net factor income from abroad. A question can come in your mind, sir. Is it that there are foreigners living in India and sending income abroad? Yes, beta, there are many. Where I stay, bacha, Bombay mein, Powai, this place is a beautiful place. Here, believe me, now though we don't go. Previously, when we used to go for the evening walks, so my son students is huge. I remember going for a walk with him, and I suddenly found there are hundreds of people who look a bit different staying in one particular society over there. So they wanted to make friendship with us. So I just introduced themselves, and then they said, "Sir, we are Japanese people." Bola, "Arey, welcome to India, sir." Bola, "Haan." He started talking in Hindi. Arey, wah, very good. And bacha, when he started talking in Hindi, I said, "You all stay here?" Bola, "Haan, sir. This full society is of Japanese people." Bola, "Wow. How come?" Bola, "Sir, this particular Delhi company which is there having an office, here there is TCS having a call center. So we all are working here and we all are working for this particular company, Samsung. So imagine, beta, there are hundreds and thousands of people who are from foreign country working in India because India also gives them an opportunity to earn income. Repeat fast, chalo now tell me. Now this is should be clear. Net. Come on, jaldi bolo. National income is defined as the net value of what? All economic goods and services. Come on, produced within the domestic territory of a country in a accounting year plus net factor income from abroad. So easy. Second, according to the CSO, now CSO has given second definition. That is also very easy. National income is the sum total of factor incomes generated by the normal residents of a country. Oh, this is another technical term. Normal residents of a country means what? Come on, tell me now, write in the chat. Normal residents of a country in the form of what? Wages, rent, interest, and profit in an accounting year. Now I'll tell you, beta, I know this. I am living in Mumbai, born and brought up in Mumbai, earning within the territory of the country. So, bacha, I'm working here, I'm earning here, I'm spending here. I'm a normal resident of the country. I was born and brought up over here. Tomorrow you become a chartered student, you say, sir, I was born and brought up in Chennai. I'm working here, I'm earning here, I'm spending here. So, bacha, you become a citizen, a resident of a country. Now, there may be some foreigners who are living in India. So they come here, students, as a tourist for 2-3 months. And in the process of 2-3-4-5 months, students, they earn some money. So they are tourists actually. They'll go. Their income is not to be considered. But if there is a foreigner who is in India and he has been staying in India for 1 year or more than that, and bacha is doing something to earn income in the country, then his income has to be included. So bacha, I, you, we, and Mr. John, with John, who's come from Australia. Why he's come here? He's come here to coach the Indian cricket team, and he's staying here in India only for the last 3 years. Example, which I don't know any John, so just an example. So he's staying in India for the last 3 years. So 3 years, for last 3 years he's in India. He's earning income in India. India is the place, bacha, where he's earning income. He also becomes a normal resident of a country. The second definition is much more easy. National income is the sum total of factor income generated by normal residents of a country in the form of wages, rent, interest, and profit in an accounting year. Repeat fast. Sum total of factor income. Rent, wages, what bit of factor income na? Generated by normal residents of a country in the form of so and so. Done. बोलो यश कोठारी समझ में आया? First two definitions are clear, beta. Don't get me wrong. I said 2-3 mark questions. One question definitely would be define national income. So this is one part. Anyone having a doubt? No doubt. But Chato, let's go ahead. What is the usefulness of estimation of national income? This particular question is for understanding. Why do we calculate national income? What is the usefulness? But I just started saying like this. If you remember, take this case. Suppose I am working and I say last year I got an income of 30 lakh of rupees. Okay. So this year, whether I have achieved growth or not, how do I come to know? Better in this today's practical material world, everything is assessed in terms of money only, na? So, bacha, I have achieved growth or not in this particular year would be known after that I find out my income. So, if it applies to me, it applies to my country also. So why we understand the country's national income? To know the growth of the country. So see, the usefulness is national income estimates provide a comprehensive conceptual and accounting framework for analyzing and evaluating the short-run performance of an economy. Mind you, short-run performance of an economy. When I say short-run, beta, I mean 1 year. We calculate national income on a yearly basis. So beta, every year what growth we have got. How do I come to know on the basis of national income? The best understanding is what, beta? As a person's growth, we come to know with his income. Country's growth, we come to know with its national income. Now, pay attention. The distribution pattern of national income. Oh my God, this is dangerous. Distribution pattern of national income determines the pattern of demand for goods and services. Take this example, Vacha. SM, I've taught you in that one particular example I've given. If you remember, now please pay attention. Now I'm audible, na, all of you. Sunai dere na, Prasanna. Bacha, listen, na, there's something that now you should need to understand. Last 1 week, if you have an idea of what I have inspired you about the share market, but the share market is running, galloping, in fact. You know one thing, please listen now, beta, and this is something very important for you as commerce student, future chartered accountants. India is a country, beta. My country's national income is $2.85 trillion. Think, huh? $2.85 trillion is my country's national income. And you know, bacha, share market ka market capitalization has surpassed $3 trillion. Oh my God. If the share market capitalization has surpassed $3 trillion, it means what? It means that there's too much of money being pumped in the share market. Good or bad, don't be opinionated, beta. This is the biggest problem in India. Bloody, we all come with particular answers, so this is not good. Who the hell are we? You enjoy the game. I'm enjoying. Why? All the shares, bacha, which we talked, they are running like anything. Absolute. Now pay attention. Now, beta, country's national income 2.85. Share market cap $3 trillion. Second part of the story. Last year, Gautam Adani students was able to get a growth of 500% in his business. You getting my point? What is it, beta? 500% growth. The entire world was shrinking, and here is Gautam who was expanding. Jinesh, imagine, Marwadi, Dusra, and Gujarati aadmi. 500% growth. You buy the shares of Gautam Adani's company, na, Adani Port, Adani Trust Students, Adani Oil, Adani Enterprise, Adani Power. They are running like anything. Now see what I am coming to. If India's national income is $2.85 trillion, then beta $0.85 trillion is with Mukesh Ambani. $0.5 trillion is with Gautam Adani. Then what the hell do you have and what the hell do I have? Pukkachi Hoshiari. Think properly, yes. And what I'm saying? Beta, imagine 0.85 is with Mukesh, 0.5 is with what? Come on. Ye Gautam Adani, rest. 140 crore people have the remaining part of national income. You know, with this, and this is something not I am privy to this particular knowledge. I'm telling you. The other day, bacha, I had a particular seminar. I think I must have told to more than 1,000 people. And when I was telling this, some particular politicians were sitting over there, they were getting angry on me. But chalna, because I said, 500% if you can achieve growth, you cannot get growth without the blessing of political leaders. Barabar hai. So instead of worshipping God, they must be worshipping Narendra Modi. Let's be very clear. If there is in Tamil Nadu, then Stalin must be so important. I mean, forget it, students. Now come to the point. How much does the country has for the rest of its people? Very less, marginal. No wonder, beta, because of this, the entire world knows one thing. Now, don't get it wrong. India is a dumping yard. It's a junk yard for all the nonsensical things which you cannot sell in any part of the world. Sell it in India because that is the way the country is having demand patterns. Please get me right, students. I'll give you an example. In America, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, one car was declared as the worst car of the decade. Worst car of the decade. And that car was Ford Figo. Worst car. When I saw in India, that year when Ford Figo was launched, this car had the maximum sales in our country. So imagine, beta, World Cup worst car Ford Figo, India में maximum sales it has. This is the demand. For animal student, they make use of that carbolic soap in USC. I told you Allah, in UK, in India, we use Lifebuoy soap, which is actually a carbolic soap. So beta, the demand pattern you come to know. The factual. All the world, whatever things they cannot sell in any other part of the world, they bring in India. First reason, big market. Second, bacha, people are spending and they are buying any particular thing you give it to them. So demand pattern you come to know. See, the second point was saying this, students. The distribution pattern of national income determines the pattern of demand for goods and so enables business to forecast, enables business to forecast the future demand for the products. The economic welfare depends upon a considerable degree on the magnitude and distribution of national income. India is becoming richer or Ambani and Adani are becoming richer. You decide on your own. So, welfare of the people, horrible. The article student, more than 10,000 students have left the schools and colleges because parents can't afford to pay the fees. I was wondering, bacha, I have not heard so many people dying because of corona in Dubai. You've heard? Why bloody they're dying in India only? Think. This is students a big game played by the pharmaceutical company. Tomorrow, don't be surprised, bacha, the pharmaceutical companies come with a particular program saying that this vaccine gives you protection for 6 months. So every 6 months you have to get vaccinated. So bloody for them a regular source of income starts. And what about we in India, bacha, after 2.85, 1.35 to 2 people have taken? What others are having? They are just having money to survive. 6 months more lockdown, Indians will become beggars. So, bacha, welfare depends upon considering the magnitude, size of per capita income and the growth is over time. Then it shows the composition and structure of income in terms of different sectors of the economy. This is important. You all know, beta, in my country, we have the primary sector, we have the secondary sector, we have the tertiary sector. Please understand. We get income from these 3 sectors. But there was a time, student, that primary sector would contribute approximately 60% of our national income. 20% secondary sector, 20% tertiary sector. Today, you know what is happening? Today, beta, tertiary sector ka share has become almost 60%. Primary sector has become, student, 35. Maybe 40. And secondary sector is as it is 20. Think. This is like what? After primary, we should have developed the secondary sector. But beta, here my country is strange. After primary, my country is developing its tertiary sector. And if you don't have secondary sector that is developed, then better my country will have a lopsided development. It would mean, students, that in my country you may have televisions, refrigerators, washing machines, but you may not have electricity. You get my point what I'm saying? Bacha, you may have motor cars, but you will not have steel. How? Consumer goods we are giving importance, not capital goods. Secondary sector is not developed, bacha. It just shows student that country is becoming like a Superman. First it wore the pant and on that it is wearing the underwear. If a country has to develop student, then after primary sector, which sector has to develop? Tell me fast. Secondary sector, na bacha. My country is going the wrong way. From primary, tertiary, and after tertiary, bacha, now Modi, because of that, has taken the initiative. What initiative? Atmanirbhar Bharat. Make in India. Made in India. Rafale company ko it says, na, he said, na. So you make planes for us in your country, France, but the second particular order you'll make planes in India. But I want my secondary sector to develop. So see, this information, where do I get from? National income. After primary sector, secondary sector did not develop, tertiary is developed. Then it helps in assessing and selecting economic policies objective is simple, on that basis we'll be able to make economic policies. Then see, it's contribution to various international bodies. If you want to become a member of WTO, IMF, you have to give some particular fees, and that is depending upon your national income. Maximum particular contribution is given by USA. So no wonder, bacha, China and USA, whatever it says, WTO listens to them. Imagine the Wuhan virus we see now. Why the WTO is not ready to take any action against China? Because China is sponsoring them. Come on. Combined with financial and monetary data, national income data provide a guide to make policy and growth for inflation. Forecasting to make projection about the future development trends of the economy. Time pass. But with our first point, please remember, this is very important. Do one thing, students, all of you. I give you some particular explanation of this. You'll have to maintain a separate notebook, all of you, please. I'll give you some particular information on all the students. Note down this domestic territory and resident, normal resident. Please write, open your book, write in the first page. You all want some notes, huh? Can I see notes? You all want or you don't want? Oh my God. Please, please, note down, in your interest only, please. Okay, let's start. Please write better first. Domestic territory, domestic territory is the economic territory. Domestic territory is the economic territory. And it includes, right in that number one, first point, political frontiers of a country political frontiers of a country, that is political boundaries of a country. Second, ships and aircrafts. Ships and aircrafts operated by normal residents between two or more countries. ships and aircrafts operated by normal residents within 2 or more countries. So, beta, please, the example, please note it down that now. What example I had given, if you remember, Air India plane going from, come on, write any 2 countries, students. Japan to Dubai. Right now, that becomes India's domestic. But what is the understanding behind that? Something goes wrong in that particular plane. The plane is going from Japan to Dubai. So, bacha, whom will be held responsible? The Japanese government, the Dubai government, whose plane? Jinesh, kiska plane? Air India. So, kaun paisa marega? Who will give the money? Air India will have to pay. That's the understanding. Second point, right? Third one, fishing vessels. Comma, oil and natural gas rigs. Oil and natural gas rigs. And floating platforms. And floating platforms. Operated by the residents. Operated by the residents. In the international water. Where they have exclusive rights of operations. Where they have exclusive rights of operations. Exclusive rights of operations. Beta, मेरी बात सुनो, please listen to one second. You know, I said what? Operated by residents in the international water. Please listen, pay attention. Now, international water. A simple example. Tomorrow, if some question is asked, you know, many people in India now, they love to go for gambling, betting, you know. Yes, Kodari, many people love this as such. I bet you people like to do gambling, betting, but in India, you know, it is illegal. There is one Indian company, pay attention, company ka naam is Deltin, Deltin. This particular company is done what you know. They have a particular big boat, ship, in fact, I would say, big, particular, huge. So this particular ship that they have now, they have parked that ship in the international water. Now, international water, I did say, if you remember, it is once you cross the limit of the city. So people go to Goa, bloody, they all drink over there. And bacha, when the rich and the famous go over there, na, we have seen so many times, they'll take a small boat, and from that small boat as such, they'll go to that particular ship, Deltin, where in that particular boat they have a casino. A casino name, many casinos are there. And these all people go and play. Acha, over there they play, they drink, and everything is allowed. How it is allowed? In India, though, it is not allowed, no, students. You're not allowed to drink and drive. You're not allowed to drink while you're driving as such. But there, bacha, you're allowed to play in the casino also. There you're allowed to, you understand, drink also, because that is the international water. So on international water, bacha, it is neither Pakistan, neither Bangladesh, neither me. Whoever is there, he or she becomes the owner as such. Please understand. Okay, getting my point? And write the third one, fourth one, sorry. Embassies. So next time when you go to Goa, Yash Kotari, don't go there. कि मारवाड़ी जाके आया पहले हाँ embassies, consulates and military establishments. वो लाइट गई क्या? Embassies, consulates and military establishments of a country located abroad. Located abroad. Light है इधर. Located abroad. Okay. Now, beta, please note down over there in a bracket. Ek minute, this is on your own. You should write down. Okay. American embassy in India is not a part of our domestic territory. Right now, so it excludes what? Embassies of foreign country in India, international organization having their offices in India, that is also not a part of India's domestic territory. Please yaad rakho beta. While solving the sums, this information may be useful. Okay, write the next one, normal residents. Normal residents, ye na which are this part C. Normal residents. Come on, normal residents में क्या लिखेंगे? Write down. Individual or institutions. Individual or an institution who ordinarily resides in the country, and whose center of economic interest also lies in that country. Right in the next line, this means that first point, the resident lives in the domestic territory. The resident lives in the domestic territory bracket में लिखो, he may even be a foreigner if he is staying for a period of, come on, bolo re, staying for a period of what? 1 year. नहीं 1 year बेटा, accounts में we said tax basis पे like that, year 1 year. Second, carries out basic economic activities basic economic activities of earning, spending and accumulating. Economic activities of earning, spending and accumulating from that location. Okay, this is clear. Some basic idea you've got. Chalo bolo beta fast. Yes or no? Arshita, sure, got it. Saket Rama, Blessy, all well, beta, understood. Come on, who calculates national income? I said. Tell me, Penarasi, who calculates? Akshaya, jaldi bolo beta, who calculates? CSO. So see that particular second, third question we'll now see. Please pay attention. Now we'll go fast. Huh? We'll go fast. You should understand. Huh? What is the need to go fast if you're not understanding? Achha, first one thing is clear. National income mein, what do I consider money value? Achha, okay, another thing. One more point, beta, pay attention. I said national income is actually goods and services produced in the country. Please pay attention. So first thing should be clear. National income may we don't consider only goods and services. So there is a particular article that was written, I saw it just 2-3 days back. They say when goods are produced, so why don't we say 1,000 liter of milk, 10,000 meter of cloth. Hey, beta, so this question is like Rahul Gandhi, na? Beta, imagine karo, liter of cloth, liter of water, milk, meter of cloth, pagal, kg of onions, nonsense, huh? So, bacha, he can't express liter, meter, kg as such. So, all these things can be converted into money. Since it can be converted into money, I express it in terms of money. So money value, why money value, beta? Be very clear. Because money is the common denominator in all these particular cases. Now, come here. First thing, chalo. This I was telling you, bacha, see it's written over here. The basic UN system. You remember which is CSO. Come to this point, students. Concepts used. Now, which are the concepts used? GDP, all that. Now, so first we have to study in detail about GDP. So instead of third question, we'll go to the fourth question because that is full detail. Now, very important in case you have studied this also before, it's a revision, but you have to study. Problem in this topic is what students, half knowledge students have, and half knowledge is very dangerous. So please, those who have studied in CBSE, what can I do? You have to still study because in the exam they'll ask this question. Pay attention now. First we'll study what is GDP, how it is estimated, but from GDP, then we'll come to all the different concepts. Then we'll come to the different methods and 2-3 things they've introduced this year. We'll study that also. Please pay attention. Explain the term GDP, how it is estimated. Now pay attention, beta. We all know, listen now. First, Vishal, pay attention. Gross. What is gross? Gross means it includes the value of depreciation, right now. So GDP is the gross value of all goods and services, mind you, produced within the political boundaries of a nation. Now, bacha, when I said domestic, please listen now, pay attention. Domestic is within the political boundaries. Within the political boundaries, when I say it is domestic. Suppose if I have to go from domestic to net, then bacha, it goes beyond the political boundary in the sense I said your uncle, your aunt, your mummy, your dad as such working abroad and they give income over here. That has to be considered. So, bacha, when I say domestic, it is within the political boundary. So, gross is gross of depreciation. Domestic is within the country and product means goods. Let's see this. We'll read this. Try to understand. Is a measure of the market value of all final goods and services. Okay, beta. What does final? Chalo, first tell me why we say final economic goods and services. Final would mean, bacha, I don't consider intermediate goods. I consider only the final goods. Example, if there is milk, I'm using that particular milk to make tea, then its value will not be considered. If I'm using milk students to drink, then it's a final product. Imagine there is a company, MRF company, which makes tires. And these tires it gives to Mahindra and Mahindra company student, then the MRF company tire prices will not be final goods because the car that will include the tire will be considered as a final good. So please, intermediate goods not to be considered. Come on, tell me fast. GDP is a measure of what? Market value. Market value. Why market value? Because you are buying and selling goods in the market and all expressing in terms of money. All final goods and services, come on, gross of depreciation. Gross of depreciation means what, bacha? It includes the value of depreciation. Produced within the domestic territory of a country during a given time period. This is so easy. I repeat, I did tell you two things now. Domestic is within the political boundaries of the country, the domestic. If they say net, so net mein what will happen? Money that comes from abroad, money that goes abroad. Chalo, ek dusra example. Now give me the answer, bacha. Suppose there is a company. All of you pay attention. Vishal, Yash will give me the answer. Yash, answer the beta. Hindustan Unilever Company. Think properly. It manufactures goods and services. So all goods and services it manufactures is, let us say, worth 1 lakh. Okay. Out of that it makes profit. And this particular profit that it makes the students 10,000, which it sends to its parent company, UK Lever Brothers. याद है तुमको पढ़ा था एक बार पहले बेटा? I'd explain this now. Now in that case, what would be a part of GDP and what would be a part of GNP? Tell me. Hindustan Unilever in the domestic territory of India produced goods worth rupees 1 lakh. So, बच्चा domestic territory में they made 1 lakh. So 1 lakh will be India's GDP. 10,000 rupees profit which they made, they send it to that particular company, parent company abroad. So that would be a part of GNP. क्या हो जाएगा वो? GNP. Why GNP? Why? Tell me why? Because the money is not with us. The money has gone there. Second, your dad who is working abroad sends money from that particular country to this country. So, bacha, money comes here now. That will be a part of our GNP. Understanding? So, two different cases I said. Company. Chalo, दूसरा example. Jaguar, student, you know, company owned by whom? Come on, tell me. Vishal, owned by whom? Tata's. Now, Tata company is in US. It makes profit. So, bacha, first the car that it makes, that particular car, students, will be a value of the car will be a value of what, student? GDP in America. GDP in America. And come on, the profit that they make, the profit they send it to India. So that will become a part of our GNP. That will be part of our GNP. समझ में आ रहा है? बोलो yes or no. Okay, come on, tell me. It is the, any doubts over here, beta? First part, no, na? Produced within the domestic territory of a country during a given period of time. It is the sum total of value added by all the producing units in the domestic territory and includes value added by current production. This is one. By foreign residents or foreign owned firms. So please remember that example I said. Hindustan Unilever makes the goods in India. So bacha, that is Indian GDP. Colgate makes toothpaste in India. That is Indian GDP. Foreign owned firms also, bacha, be very clear. It's Indian GDP because the political boundaries of a nation. Now see, the term gross means that GDP is measured gross of debris. Domestic means domestic territory or resident production unit. This is important. GDP excludes transfer payment. Oh, excludes transfer payment. Wait, pay attention. Now, in GDP, always remember, bacha, we will not consider transfer payment. We'll consider only factor payment. The transfer payment is what? Simple example. Now, imagine, take this case. I am not working, but I am a citizen of the country. But if I'm not working, I'm not getting a job, and had I been a resident of Australia, then government would be giving me unemployment allowances. Getting my points? Sri Prasanna, unemployment allowances will be a part of what come on, tell me, transfer income. Please remember, bacha, when I say this now, the second understanding is what? GDP may you consider earned income. Don't consider unearned income. How come unearned income? Unemployment allowance I have not earned. Someone has given to me. Why? Because I'm not having a job. So I work, I earn, I get, it's a part of GDP. I'm going somewhere, students, and suddenly I found a bag. In that there is 1 crore of rupees. Oh, 1 crore rupees, students, I find out on the way, bag as such. That bacha is transfer income. That is not to be included. These Marwadis in your class, student, they are so rich, and if they become chartered accountants, their price will increase in the managed market. So this Yash Kothari will get married, and father would say, Mara Dikra CHA, chartered accountant. So he wants a dowry of 10 crore of rupees. Abhi imagine karo. ये मारवाड़ी 10 करोड़ का डाउरी लेगा मतलब बच्चा be very clear what is this income has he earned no it is what come on income unearned income so please I said unemployment allowance acha if an old person is there bachcha that old person doesn't work gets what pension so pension unemployment allowance dowry gift donations these incomes we don't earn we get it from somewhere. So, bacha, without working, I'm getting. Not to be considered. First point. Then, bacha, imagine I have a particular share of a company. Hey, bacha, look, suno. And now listen. In one of my lectures in SM, I took SM for you all. Remember, I said one particular example to you all. What was the example? A live elephant and a dead elephant. Example I had given, a live elephant said dead elephant is more precious. I had given you an example of that particular company, RCF. That time I remember a share of RCF was 37, 38 rupees. But now the price is almost 100 rupees. And we are meeting after 15, 20 days only now. 15, 20 days, but 37 ka share, 100. That means imagine if I would have invested 37 lakh rupees, I would have been richer by 1 crore rupees today. Tantadan, meaning what? People buy and sell shares. Now, I had those shares, student, which I had bought for 20, 21 rupees. 80 rupees, I sold it. Bas, jada lalach nahi. Jada lalach kyun nahi? Why not do much greedy? Because then I'll stop working and I enjoy more taking lectures, students. That income is not much interested. Now imagine, bacha, suppose the profit that I make and those shares which I sold, Sri Prasanna bought those shares. So Sri Prasanna, when he buys those shares and I sell those shares, this financial transaction should not be considered as national income. Right now, should not be considered. Why should not be considered, bacha? Because here, goods and services are not produced. Am I right? When I bought this particular company share, when the company was issued the shares, that time had I considered students, then it should have been included. But now it is just transfer of ownership that is happening. Example number 2, I have a car lying like that only, students, since the day I bought. So So the other day I got very angry. I bought one particular book, broker and said, le, sell this. So I bought for 10 lakh rupees, saying, sir, I'll be able to give you 6 lakh rupees. So, bacha, 10 lakh ka car, 6 lakh of rupees today, if I sell it, that 6 lakh rupees, imagine someone buys it, will not be included in national income. Why? Because this is a second-hand transaction that is taking place. First hand when it was there, bacha, that time already value was included. So please understand, bacha, transfer income will not be included. Financial transactions should not be included. See, this is mentioned over here. Financial transactions. GDP excludes transfer payment, financial transactions, any doubts, and the most important, non-reported output generated through illegal transactions, such as narcotics, gambling. These are known as bads as compared to goods, which GDP stands for. I repeat, beta, what does that mean? Pay attention. See, today's time that Corona has bloody created hell for us, na? So much problem. But Bombay mein to, I don't know about y'all in Chennai. Bombay mein life has become very difficult. Going out of the house is so problematic. Every time you have to wear a mask. Nowadays people say apply 2 masks. With 1 mask also you find so suffocating. Two masks, pagal. Then bacha, when we go somewhere out as such, DMart, some things were to be bought. By 11 o'clock they have to close the shop, DMart. Life has become very difficult. So this point of time, someone who's doing very good is students, those people who deal in medicines. So my neighbor, there was some particular person, Mr. Krishnamurthy. Uncle was not well. So doctor prescribed the remdesivir injection. The remdesivir injection, bacha, was very expensive, I was knowing, and he was a lecturer in IIT Bombay, a very good gentleman. Now, he and I both used to buy and sell shares, so he has a lot of investments. I know that. So one day when he was not well, we called a doctor as such. Doctor came and his sons were not here, sons in USA. So doctor told me, Jaggi, if you can arrange for remdesivir, he will survive. Maybe I'll try that he survive, otherwise no. So I said, sir, where do I get it? Well, I'll find out. So bacha, I came across a particular pharmacist. He said, I'll give you. How much you'll charge me? He said, per remdesivir injection, I'll charge you 90,000 rupees. So that one particular injection actual price is 900 rupees. He's quoting 90,000. I got very angry. He said, then go buy from somewhere else. And when I was talking about it, the doctor had prescribed 10 remdesivir injections. So, bacha, 10 remdesivir injection means 9 lakh of rupees. Now what to do? Had it been 900 ka 10, 9,000, I would have purchased and given, but 9 lakh rupees. So when Krishnamurthy uncle met me, he said, Girish, what happened? I said, sir, this is the problem. One injection is asking for 9 lakhs. What to do? He said, what to do, Girish? I am helpless. Sell my shares and buy for me that particular. Till that time, you arrange for it as such. You believe me, bacha, we bought it at 90,000 rupees per. But the doctors couldn't save him. He died. Forget that he died. This particular person took from us 9 lakh rupees for the 10 particular syringes such. Now, this kind of income that a person gets will never be reported in the national income. Reason, it is illegal. So this is not good. This is considered to be bad. In national income, we consider only good. This is bad, they say. It's national income account. So till here it is clear, sure. Any doubts? Chalo repeat karo. National income is what? Value of all final goods and services, gross of depreciation produced within the domestic network. Now it's easy. I'll not repeat this. Now, GDP is calculated at market price, and bacha, GDP is at factor cost. Now that is what we'll study now. Pay attention. Now please listen to this. GDP can be at market price and GDP can be at factor cost. Now that's very easy. Now how to understand this? Please pay attention. GDP at market price, bacha, means the price that you pay to buy the product from the market. Factor cost would mean how much is the cost incurred to produce that commodity. So take a small example. Suppose one of you students go to a particular chemist and you want to buy some medicine. There the chemist says MRP rupees 100, local taxes extra. Fine. So, bacha, if I go to buy that medicine, MRP rupees 100, local taxes extra, I ask him how much. He tells me 105 rupees. Because you know, medicines pe bacha 5% is the GST. So that is the tax they charge. Pay attention. Huh? So I pay him 105 rupees. 105 rupees is the GST, is the local tax as such. At least from me, he takes something like this. Now, beta, if I'm calculating GDP at market price, I've paid to the shopkeeper 105 rupees. So GDP at market price, may I write 105 rupees? Isn't it? Now the question is, Sri Prasanna says, but sir, to make that medicine, how much was the cost involved? The cost is which cost? Factor cost. To make the medicine, bacha, I need land, labor, capital, and enterprise. So I tell you, land 10 rupees, labor 20, capital 30, and entrepreneur profit is 40. So bacha, the contribution of rent would be 10, 20, 30, 40, the rent, wages, interest, profit. So this comes to 100 rupees. Now, bacha, if I have to come to 100 rupees from 105, so what I'll have to do? Come on, very easy. Then I'll have to write what? GDP at market price minus indirect tax. Any doubts over here? No doubts. So, bacha, 105. Say if I go to 100, I have to minus IT. Is this clear, all of you? Very simple. Second, suppose students, I want to buy a particular kg of sugar. I want to buy a kg of sugar. So, bacha, sugar price is 60 rupees kg. I don't know, I'm just giving an example. 60 rupees kg. And I say I can't afford. So the shopkeeper says, go and buy from the ration shop. I said, that's better. Ration shop I go and buy, that person gives me at ration shop at 20 rupees kg. So, bacha, when I'm buying particular ration shop, say sugar, I'm getting at 20 rupees. So how much I paid in the market to get that particular sugar? 20 rupees. So GDP at market price will be 20. Am I right? Beta bolo re, right now? Now imagine Dwarikesh Sugar. There's a sugar company, bacha, which sells maximum sugar. Dwarikesh Sugar says, sir, to make that sugar, we paid rent of 10 rupees, labor of 10 rupees, 10 rupees of interest, and 30 rupees was my profit. So, bacha, actually the factor cost was 60 rupees, na? Hey, bolo, factor was 60, na? So, bacha, from market price, say if I have to go to factor cost, tell me what I'll have to do. GDP at factor cost will be what? Come on, tell me. GDP at market price plus subsidies. Plus subsidies, why? This 20 plus, come on, tell me how much? 40 rupees will give me at factor cost. Is this clear, Vishal? Bolo, yes, now, all of you. So please, my dear students, remember, I know you are very clever. This national income is this kind of, they know everything. But when sums come, then bacha problem is there. Iske liye suno dhyan se. When I have to go from market price to factor cost, it will be GDP at market price minus IT. Come on, when I have to go to factor cost, it will be GDP at market price plus subsidies. Many a times they will say, student, net indirect tax. So net indirect tax will be what? Come on, indirect tax minus subsidies. indirect tax minus subsidies. Ulta, opposite could be what? If I have to go from GDP at factor cost to market price, then what will I have to do? Come on, tell me. GDP at factor cost to market price, there will be GDP at factor cost plus IT. Am I right? GDP at factor cost plus IT. This example was clear. Come on, tell me. Now, beta, please remember, we'll read also this part, and everything should be clear. Once you start solving the sum, then you need not look back again as such. See, GDP is in fact gross domestic product at market price. Yeah, market price. Because the value of goods and services determined by the common measuring unit of money. So please, beta, I said now. Or it is evaluated at market price. Money enables us to measure. This is simple. I said in a literal example. GDP can be estimated either at market price or at factor cost. At market price, GDP includes all. Please here underline this. At market price, GDP includes all the indirect taxes, while it excludes the subsidies given by the government. While on the other hand, come on, GDP at factor cost includes all the cost incurred in the production of goods. In other words, GDP at factor cost does not include indirect tax. Have you listened? Any doubts over here, students? Come on, tell me. Vishal, clear? All of you, now comes student current price and real GDP. 2 minutes ka break, student. 2 minutes only. Yes, please. Let's start. Someshwara, Vansh Doshi, कुछ समझ में आ रहा है नहीं बेटा? Understanding ना? Come on. Okay. So tell me market price. If I have to go from market price to factor cost, tell me beta market price to factor cost. Then what is the formula? Minus IT plus S. Market price to factor cost minus IT plus S. Come on, if it is students opposite way plus IT minus S. Right now, from factor cost to market price we have to go, it should be opposite. Now the next thing that we need to know is national income can be calculated at current prices, nominal GDP, and it can also be calculated at constant prices. Kindly pay attention, beta. Listen properly what I'm saying. See, I said national income can be calculated at current prices. Current prices mein it is called as nominal GDP. It can also be calculated at constant prices. Constant prices mein it will be called as what? Come on, tell me. Real GDP. Until now, na bacha, we used to teach only this part. This year, they've introduced something called as GDP deflator. What is that? I'll explain. मेरे को आता है, सुनो. Take a simple example, beta, and understand with that. Suppose I say in the year 2020, pay attention please. In my country, 100 kg of goods were produced. How much? Can't tell me. 100 kg of goods was produced. And the price of the goods was 10 rupee. I'll come, beta. I'm not started. Just don't worry. I just started. Don't worry. Everything I'll explain. Constant price plus everything I'll explain. 2020 bacha, I am producing 100 units of goods. 10 rupees is the price. So we said national income is the money value of all goods and services produced in the country. So beta, if it is money value of all goods and services produced, 100 at the rate of 10 gives me 1000 rupees. Think properly. So bacha, I would say 1000 rupees was the country's national income. Understand first point? Yes. Second point. Suppose I say in the year 2021, in the country, goods produced is 90 kg. Perfect. So 90 kg is the goods produced. And price of the good in the year 2021 is 20 rupees. So be very clear. National income can increase for two reasons. One reason is the quantity. Other reason is the price. How come? If national income is the money value of all goods and services, better think now. Here in the second year, national income becomes 1800 rupees. So 1800 rupees is for two reasons now. What? One reason, change in quantity, and second, change in price. Now, if actually you use your brains, you would say, sir, quantity of goods produced in the country is in fact less. But national income has become more. Precisely. How national income has become more? National income has become more because of rise in price. You getting my point? So inflation has made what our national income look bigger. Modi will become very happy. I became the prime minister and national income increase. So, sir, the problem is prices have gone up. So what I need to do now, beta, please understand. I need to deflate that rise in price. When I deflate that rise in price, I do it with the help of something called as GDP deflator. So in the exam, if a question is asked, what is GDP deflator? Very easy. GDP deflator is used to deflate what? The increased national income. To deflate the nominal GDP to the real GDP. Now wait. बच्चा if I calculate 2020 में 2020 के price से at 2020 का quantity 21 में I consider 2021 quantity and 2021 price, then this calculation of national income is supposed to be calculation at current prices, nominal GDP. What it is called as once, Doshi, beta kya बोलेंगे उसको? Nominal GDP, or it will be called as national income at current prices. And I said it gets deflated. If it gets deflated, then I have to what? Bring it back to the real GDP. So how do I get it to the real GDP? Simple, beta. I consider one particular year as a base year. And when I consider 1 year as the base year, then I consider the base year's price. And that price has to be constant. With that constant price, then I should be able to understand the change in national income. Very easy, beta. Suppose I say 2020 year is the base year. So if 2020 year is the base year, bacha, then remember please, index number of the year 2020 will be 100. This you must have studied before in school, college, whatever place students. This is 100. Now, my dear students, if in 2021 I have to consider, what did I say, real GDP. So someone asked me now, what is constant price? Constant price will be, student, that price. Come on, tell me, where I am calculating at what? The base year's price. Which price? Tell me fast. Base year's price. Now tell me, beta, real GDP, what is the quantity produced here? I'm saying 100 at the rate of 10. So this will be what? 1000 only. Any doubts? No doubts. Nah. And bacha, here I say it's 90 at the rate of 100. So that gives me what? Come on, 900. Any doubts? No doubts. So this tells me what? This tells me, bacha, the national income was 1000. It has become 900. When it has become 900, it tells me, sir, your national income has actually reduced. How come? Because the quantity produced of goods in the country has reduced. How come? We are keeping the price constant. So, beta, when price is constant, which price should be considered constant? The price of the base year. Which year is the base year? I said 2020. 2020, how much is the quantity produced? 100. What is the price I've considered? 10. So now tell me, bacha, what will be the index number? Index number, if this particular it was 100, this year it becomes 90. How come 90? Because prices, students, come on, tell me, same quantity has become less. Any doubts over here? If it is there, please tell me. There should not be any doubt. We'll read this part. Kindly now pay attention. Listen, please, beta, and remember, we'll have to solve some sums on this. First, we should understand the concepts and then sums. Don't become like Superman. First, he'll wear the pant and then that, right now. Look, when, beta, let's understand this. When GDP is estimated at current price, it exhibits nominal GDP. Please note down that, beta, current price is nominal GDP. Whereas real GDP is estimated, is when the estimate is made at constant prices. Okay, that first part is clear. Both nominal and real GDP are considered as financial metric for evaluating countries' economic growth and development. Matlab, beta, we have to consider both for our economic growth and development. Reason could be this, students. if we have to show our national income to a country like Pakistan, then we can show them our current prices. So the Imran Khan Niazi will still get angry. You know? Why? So anyway, but otherwise, if you ask me which is a better indicator of growth, beta, it goes without saying. Better indicator of growth is undoubtedly constant prices, real GDP. You know, inflated figures makes no sense. I'll give you an example. Bombay, where we stay, na, so imagine a flat where we have, if this particular flat students cost 3 crore of rupees, so what? But a 3 crore I have to stay here. Na? I will not sell this and go and stay at the railway station. So this is just on the paper that the prices have gone. When I go to sell, I may not get a buyer at this particular price also. Understanding? So always it's better to calculate at real GDP at constant prices. Shall read this. Nominal GDP is evaluated at current market prices. Therefore, nominal GDP will include all the change in market prices that have occurred during the current year due to inflation or deflation. So, beta, if a question is asked, what is GDP deflator? GDP deflator is used to deflate the effect of inflation. What did I say? Is used to deflate the effect of inflation. Deflate means like there's a balloon. You put a pin, push ho jayega na. So that deflator. An idea is what? To bring students the nominal GDP to the real GDP. Nominal GDP to the real GDP. So beta, if you ask me the formula, I would say like this. GDP deflator is equal to nominal GDP upon real GDP into 100. Please remember this. So I said two things, beta, and I request you, questions will be 2-3 marks. So maybe there are some particular things which are not there in the book, but I must have told that in the explanation. They can ask this. I would ask this to the GDP deflator. So if it's a 1 mark question, you cannot write on this. Only that 2 sentences are enough. Now, GDP deflator is, students, it's used to deflate the value of GDP. Why? To deflate the effect of inflation. Or it is something which expresses the value of nominal GDP to real GDP. Simple. Or it is to bring the nominal GDP to the real GDP. Now please pay attention. Real GDP is evaluated at the market price of some base year. Someone was asking me, right? Now, for example, if 1990 were chosen as the base year, then real GDP for 1995 is calculated by taking quantity of all goods and services purchased in 1995, right? And multiplying them by the 1990 prices. Now, very important to this part, beta. Currently, the base year is 2011-12. In the exam, bacha, they may ask a question, which is the base year today? So, bacha, my country's base year today is what? The year 2011-12. Prior to that, it was 4-5. After that, it was 8-9. Only one thing you need to remember, bacha, base year should be a normal year. Any doubts over here? Nikhil, where are you? Any doubts over here, bacha? No doubts. Come on, come to the next question. Question number 5. Please go through this. Read this. अफरा समझ में आ रहा है बेटा? हाँ, पहले हंस, थोड़ा हंसती भी नहीं है, इतने गुस्से में बैठी रहती है. चलो सोमेश्वर किधर चला गया? हाँ, चलो चलो. हाँ, good good. Okay, beta, question number 5. Any doubts are there? Please tell me. Super. Question number 6. बेटा यहाँ पे जरा one particular thing that you need to understand. क्या बेटा, what's the doubt? What did I say, beta? When I'm calculating national income now, I can calculate national income in the year 2021 in the 2021 prices. So I consider 2021 ka quantity, 2021 price. So that is current price. Now, if in the year the prices have gone up, so national income gives me an inflated figure. That is wrong. No? Unnecessarily, I'll be in that particular mood. National income has increased, but it has gone up because of the price. So, beta, I have to remove the effect of that price. For that, we consider national income at the base year's price. And when I consider at the base year, bacha, that will be called as real GDP. So, real GDP is beta, national income figures which were inflated, it gets not deflated. So the proportion by which it gets deflated will be called as GDP deflated. Now please pay attention, what is the difference between market price and factor cost? Now this, why I have given a question separately, there is one particular additional thing that we need to know. I'll first tell you that, then we'll read the note. Now pay attention. I said when I'm going from market price to factor cost. So what we do, we deduct indirect tax and we add subsidies. This is clear, Vishal beta, minus indirect tax, add subsidy. Beta, pay attention. See, when I say indirect tax, now you are more intelligent than me in tax as such. Indirect tax is basically today's time GST. Right now. So previously we used to have excise duty, because all is gone now, beta. It's only GST, goods and service tax. Now please beta understand, GST is a tax that we pay on product. Product means what? Imagine students, I made one particular unit of a product. Then on that basis, one unit I'll have to pay GST. I'll give you an example. Listen. I have a friend of mine, bacha, who is having his own distillery. Very rich person. And one of the Indian politicians is his partner. So, bacha, distillery is there. Distillery, they make alcohol. Abhi, bacha, alcohol mein cost is very less. But prices are very. Why prices are very high? Because of GST. Every one bottle of liquor that they make now, on that it is set, government takes almost 500 rupees GST. So, bacha, one bottle 500 rupees GST. So, bottle one GST is 500. This is one way of collecting the money by the government. I mean, I'll tell you something, bacha. I know of some particular alcohol factories. The government has the excise office now inside the factory. You understanding? Excise office inside the factory, and there are one person. What will be his job? To check what is the production, so that on that basis excise duty can be charged. Because bacha, this is the only business lockdown, shutdown, or any down as such, this is the only business which is running 24/7. Right now, the Devadas of a country, students are enjoying. For them, there is no problem. I mean, imagine 24/7 this business is working. So government is also happy. Imagine, so the government has cancelled CBSE exams. Schools, colleges are closed. Liquor shops are open. My God. So our next generation, bacha, what will I tell the students of the next generation? What is more important, alcohol, cigarettes, beauty, or education? That is why I wish we had educated people as the ministers of our country. My country chief minister is one whose father was a big film leader or a big film actor. Is that qualification enough? When chai wala become the prime minister, then you'll have policies like this only. No? I'm sorry. If you're feeling bad, I don't care. But that's a fact. Truth is always bitter. Okay, come to the point, students. One particular thing that will be taken is tax on product. Besides that, bacha, there is something called as tax on production also. Production is something that is not taken on the basis of per unit, but on the basis of total production. I'll give you an example. Imagine if I want to start a particular factory, so which a government would say, no, sir, you'll have to take a license. So bacha, along with GST, government expect me to pay license fees. License fees is not on the basis of the product to be produced. Just because I want to start a particular factory, government says pay license. How much license fees? That will depend upon the want of the government. So if a company says, so we want to start a particular plant in Chennai for making what? Cold drinks. So I think if I would be the chief minister, I would say, no, sir, cold drink, no, not in Chennai. Why? My people in Chennai don't get water properly. Why the hell I will allow you? Then Pepsi companies are told, sir, okay, we will allow you. You pay 1,000 crore rupees as license fees, and they pay. But they pay 1,000 crore and they take from that particular state what is something worth more than 1,000. Come to the point. What I was trying to tell you, Bacha, when I say indirect tax, so don't ever have a feeling that there is only tax per unit. It can be per unit also. It can be consolidated tax also. So consolidated tax would be on the basis of tax on production. Okay. And bacha, imagine, take this case. LPG cylinder is there. I purposely gave you that example of medicine and sugar. Think, that is why I say educated people are needed. Understand, students. LPG, what government of India does, and you'll literally bang your head knowing this. LPG, bacha, government on one hand charges tax. And on that LPG only government gives subsidy. How would to understand from this? Bloody, if you want to give subsidy, then why you are charging tax? Vishal, Someshwara, right now, Vida? If you are charging tax, then giving subsidy makes no sense to me, uncle. I wish I would have told Modi ji. But then, bacha, he has many intelligent people working for him. But in my country, bacha, see, I did give the example of what medicine and what sugar. Because the basic assumption is what on those particular things which you charge tax, you will not give subsidies on those things. But my country, which economics is totally different. Here, the understanding would be the poor people are given, students, let us say, gas cylinder, they are given subsidies. Rich people are asked to pay tax. But bloody rich people don't pay tax here. Think properly. So when I wrote this particular thing, they justified. They said, no, sir, it is like this. But idiot, those who are rich people, they get piped gas. Piped gas, gas is still cheaper. Anyway, I mean, I can't do much. This is what my country is. Pay attention. You read this question number 6, please. Go through this. Sure. Chalo, beta, pay attention over here. Listen. I'll read it for you all, beta. Don't worry. Listen, chalo, fast. Factor cost is called so, come on, because it represents the total cost of factor, that is labor, capital, and entrepreneurs. That's simple now. In addition to factor cost, the market value of the goods and services will include indirect tax. Now, indirect tax, which are what? Come on, tell me. Indirect tax, which are what? Come on, product tax and taxes on production. Which are product tax. I mean, see, here they have written excise duty. So you remember only GST. That's clear, na? Achha, what did I say? But tell me, these are tax per unit. Tax per unit. One bottle of alcohol made on that particular tax is tax on production. Pay attention. Tax on production, such as factory license fees. Taxes to be paid to the local authority. What is local authorities pollution tax? Simple. I'll give you an example. Listen, sir, pay attention. Bombay mein bacha, the outskirts of Bombay, na, when you go to the outskirts of Bombay, there's a place called as Thane. Thane mein there's a place Kalyan. Listen, chota sa point hai beta, you should understand this. Kalyan mein beta, there's a very big factory. Mafatlal Company. Mafatlal Company, big name. Mafatlal Dyeing and Printing. So, beta, they make dyes and prints for the fabric. So, they make cloth also, they make dyes and prints for the particular cloth which is there. You know what they do, beta? This particular dyeing and printing, they make use of colors. So, whatever is the waste na color mein, they dispose it off in the lake which is nearby. Oh my God. I mean, this is so bad. Achha, disposing of in the lake nearby, why it is bad? Because that particular lake supplies water to the people in the nearby region. I mean, these people will drink that particular water, and everyone in the village was feeling unwell. And they were going to the doctor. Doctors were making money. Doctor were giving some particular treatment. And without knowing the reason. Understand? Then, bacha, when this particular continued, government stand. But yes, sir, stop doing all this nonsense to the Mafatlal Company. But Mafatlal Company, bacha, said, sir, we don't mind this. So, kya kare? What to do? Then, my dear student, government said, okay, pay attention. Government, hey, audible, huh? Now, audible, now audible. Okay. See, then government did tell them what? You pay us some 10 crore of rupees. For you, we will prepare a separate drainage pipeline so that you dispose of all the waste over there. But when this kind of arrangement is done by the government, government will take from them what, come on, some amount of money that will be the local pollution tax, which are unrelated to the quantum of production. So, why, beta? Because one particular 2-mark question was asked on this. Taxes on production. So, what is expected from you on product? You say, right, per unit. Give the example of a company making alcohol. Per unit of bottle, beta, 500 is the least I've said. One bottle is 10,000 rupees, so on that excise will be 5,000 rupees. Imagine one bottle 5,000, and these factories work 24/7 by 365. So much alcohol they make. Government excise collection is terrible, na? Not that. Besides that, license fee, pollution, local authorities that you have to pay, that will be taxed on production. Have you seen this example? Government gives subsidy to many goods and services. The market price will be lower by the amount of subsidies on products and production which the government pays to the producer. Hence, the market value of the final expenditure would exceed the total obtained at factor cost by the amount of the product. Time by for example, if the factor cost of unit of good X is rupees 50, indirect tax amount to rupees 15, and government gives us subsidy. This was the example I was giving. Na? Imagine the same thing, there is tax also, and the same thing, there is subsidy also. Pagal. On those particular things, bloody, we are charging tax, giving subsidy makes no sense. Understand? Now, it is common sense. Then the market price we want on 55. Why 55? Come on, 50 plus come on 10. And then student minus 15. Then market price will be 55. Thus we find that the basic distinction is minus 50 minus 15 plus 10. Sorry. So it will be what, students? Come on. Market price and factor cost is net indirect tax. This is important, which please listen. Look here. Thus, we find the basis of distinction between market price and factor cost is net indirect tax. That is indirect tax minus V. Abhi beta, idhar hai na, while solving sums, you will have difficulty. See, market price, if I want to know, it is what? Factor cost plus net indirect tax. Abhi factor cost plus indirect tax minus subsidy. I was telling you the ulta. Here it is ulta. Why it is ulta? Because here I am going, student, from market price to factor cost. Please understand. Sorry, from factor cost I am going to market price. So, bacha, factor cost may I will add indirect tax. Please understand. Imagine that particular medicine costed 100 rupees and I paid 105. So from 100 to 105, if I have to go, I have to add 5 rupees now. So imagine factor cost plus indirect tax minus subsidy. So beta, if it is indirect tax minus subsidy, I call this as net indirect tax. Please remember. Also remember, if I have to find market price, always remember, you have to find market price, you have to add net indirect tax. I repeat, if you have to find, come on, market price, then you have to add net indirect tax. If you have to find factor cost, so factor cost में बच्चा क्या होगा? Minus indirect tax plus subsidy, ना तो बच्चा it will be net minus net indirect tax. Any doubts over here? No doubts. I hope it's easy. Clear? Please. Now this 7th question is the most important. 7th question is one new concept they have introduced. Today I'll explain you that. Please. That is something which was not there till the last year. This year only they have introduced, and they'll give some sums also to solve. What is the meaning of this, students? Now, in the beginning I said 3 methods to calculate national income. First is product method. So product method is also called as value added method. To make that product, students, I need factors. So I give income to the factors of production. Factor income method. And when factors earn income, they spend money. So expenditure method. So like that, but three methods are there. Please, bacha, understand. First, we have to study what is value added method. Now, what is the idea, beta? Please understand. When I say value added method, I basically mean what? I should find out what is the value added in the country in each and every stage of production. I repeat, beta. Value that is added in each and every stage of production in order to get the value of final goods. So if I'm following value added, bacha, how do I get the value added thing? So we say value of consumer goods minus the value of intermediate goods. Repeat fast. Value of final goods minus value of intermediate goods. You understanding that? Car was the final good, 10 lakh rupees. And tires was 60,000. So it will be 10 lakh minus 60,000. Why? Because 60,000 was intermediate product. Now, beta, how to go about this method, value added method? Please understand. You have to remember like this. Every economy, may you have three different sectors: primary, secondary, tertiary sector. Okay. Primary sector is that sector where you know nature plays an important role. Please understand. Right? So nature plays an important role is primary sector. Human beings play an important role, secondary sector. Tertiary sector is the service sector which helps the primary and secondary sector. First point. Second, primary sector के अंदर बेटा the most important activity is agriculture. Then बच्चा the next thing you have is animal husbandry. Then the next you have is cattle rearing, right now. So बच्चा agriculture, animal husbandry, cattle rearing, students, poultry farming. Secondary may we have different particular industries: steel industry, you have tea industry, coffee industry, cloth industry, paper industry. Here you have banking, here you have insurance, here you have coaching classes, education classes. Please understand. All these sectors which are there now, in this particular sector, we see there are subsectors. Subsectors. Now the subsectors which are there, what are they doing? They are producing goods now. So what are they doing actually? They are adding value. They are adding value. Now, beta, if I have to go with this method, then what I have to do? I have to, beta, follow a particular formula. What formula will be that? Pay attention. So it will go something like this. I'll write over here, beta. Please try to understand. First, students, we find gross value added. Please now listen. Gross value added by the primary sector. After that, bacha, in this I add gross value added by the secondary sector. And then I add gross value added by the tertiary sector. When I add these all three, I get the value of gross domestic product and market. Please, beta, the sums will be there now. I don't know whether you must have studied this in college first. We used to C plus I plus G plus X minus N. Hey, y'all have studied this before, Shubheshwar? Nahi bolta hai. Beta, listen. Now the sums will be there na bacha. The sums will be something like this. They will expect you to solve with this particular method. School mein, so no problem. Now beta, here GVA to gross value added in primary sector, secondary sector, tertiary. GDP. Now imagine what is gross value added at market price. It is value of output minus intermediate consumption. Acha, how to explain that? I told you, beta, car is 10 lakh, tire is 60,000. So 10 lakh minus 60,000 will be the gross value added. Please understand. So, bacha, after finding out this GDP at market price, what do I do? Very easy. Suppose I add in this, what? Tell me, this is written over here, NFIA. What is net factor income from abroad? Now pay attention. Net factor income from abroad, if you remember, I said your parents are working abroad. There they work, there they earn, and from their student they bring money in this particular country. So when they bring money in this particular country, we'll say factor income from abroad. And bacha, there are some foreigners in our country, from our country, they work and send money abroad. So factor income to abroad. And the difference in these two will be what? Net factor income from abroad. Now please, beta, remember, if I add in that NFIA, so bacha, I am getting GNP at market price. I'll give you another understanding. Till now, beta, GDP is something we found now here. That is something within the domestic territory of the country. So something in the domestic territory, primary, secondary, tertiary, it's domestic. But bacha, here I'm saying Jaguar company earned income in US, and from US it gave money to my country. Oh, so we got income from that particular country, na beta. Acha, Hindustan Unilever made money and they sent it abroad. So bacha, despite being in our country, it does not remain in my country. The money goes to other country. So I have to remove that. So bacha, if I have to remove all that particular international transactions, then what I am left with gross national product at market price. Any doubts over here? So you all need to understand, please, when from domestic I'm going to what? Net. On domestic I'm going to net. I'll have to add NFIA. Chalo, ulta hoega, if I'm going from NP to DP, then I'll have to minus NFI. Clear? Now, bacha, this is GNP. Your car was 10 lakhs. Now you go to sell it is only 6 lakhs. So, bacha, what you have done? Minus depreciation. So, come on here. If I minus depreciation from here, I get what? NNP at market price. Any doubts over here? No doubt. It's so simple. So, bacha, market price, so I know. But market price, mein what happens? To pay what? Come on, indirect tax. So, bacha, I minus indirect tax. At subsidy, I'm left with what? Come on, NNP at factor cost, which is actually the national income. Agreed. Bolo ha. Understood na? This is the way, bacha, we get the national income. All of you, please tell me first, which method we are doing? Value added method. Value added is actually the product. What is the formula? GVA, primary sector, secondary sector, tertiary sector. Previously, we used to call this as C plus I plus G plus X minus M. C is consumer goods, I is capital goods, G is government services, X minus M is export minus import. Gross domestic product. Achha, now this new formula there. You don't be surprised student, they may ask us someone C plus I plus G plus X minus M. That is just for information. They can ask anything. I've put it in the book as one sum also is there. But remember, primary sector, secondary and tertiary can be C plus I plus G plus X minus M also. Kya bolta chart mein? Ab it is market price. Na kya question? Market price. I've written here market price. Acha, market price se bacha, when I add domestic mein, when I add NFIA, I get net. When I minus depreciation, come on, tell me, I get gross ka net. Any doubts over here? No doubts. Clear? Obviously, this example was given for value added. This formula is simple. This concept is simple. Farmer got wheat for 7 rupee. Hey, I'll give my example. Rates of time for this. Best example I'll give to you, you'll understand. Suppose there is a farmer. He grows wheat. And bacha, this particular wheat that he grows, that is worth 500 rupees. Right? Now this wheat is converted into flour. Flour is worth 700 rupees. This flour is then baked. The baked product is for 900 rupees. Sorry. And then, bacha, this is taken by Britannia company and sold as Britannia bread, 1100 rupees. Now, if I say Britannia bread, bacha, value only, then that approach will be called as final goods approach, 1100 rupees. Sorry, 1100 rupees. Now, bacha, if I take 1100 rupees like this, it's final goods approach. But since this is value added approach, so what I'll do? I'll say farmer got wheat for 500, made 700 towards value added 200. The big thing value added is 200, and then bread was 200, and the total value comes to what? 1100. So something if I do like this, bacha, that becomes what? Value added approach. Any doubts over here? No doubts. I hope you're understanding everyone, students. Sure. Now comes very simple. Please listen, all of you. This is a difficult part, what I'm going to explain now. This is something new that they've introduced. It's not given here also. I'm giving you, bacha. The reason is, I have to give you, nothing reason as such. What is per capita income? Per capita income is very simple, bacha. Average income. So if I say a country's income is 500 rupees and there are 10 people in the country, so per capita income is 50 rupees. Barabar hai na? So bacha, per capita income is national income upon population. See this? National income upon population. Clear? It is clear. Now what is personal income? Can anyone tell me what is personal income? Personal income. One's own income. Wow, very good. So clever. But I didn't understand. Personal income not paid. Please listen, beta. Now understand. No problem. Beta. Listen, what is personal income? Earning of an individual is absolutely wrong. Suno. Don't. Bas, no more answers. क्या है? Disturb मत करो. पढ़ाने दो. Income received by household. Pay attention, students. Now, beta, personal income, one important point that you need to remember is this. Listen. See, when I was calculating national income, beta, I did tell you, okay, national income includes factor income, not transfer income. I did tell you, Akshaya, I said what, beta? National income includes factor income, not transfer income. Other explanation could be national income includes earned income, not unearned income. Unearned income is, student, that income which I get without putting in any efforts. Without putting in any efforts, if I get some particular money, bacha, that is what? Tell me fast. That is unearned income. Now remember what I'm going to tell you, beta. See, personal income, when I say na, bacha, personal income will include factor income also, transfer income also. But personal income will include those income which I have received, not necessarily I've earned. It will consider those income which I've received, but I may not earn. But but it will not consider those income which I have earned, but I have not received. Be very clear. I said, bacha, imagine I'll give an example. You know, bacha, for 15, 20 years, I used to take lectures in a college in Bombay. And I used to love that. Only problem is, bacha, college mein there is repetition. I used to teach accounts over there and law. Accounts and law, bacha, the same accounts, some now was tallied in my brain. I am fed up, na? Same thing again and again. Nothing new was coming. Law also, chal, theek. And since students, I came in the share market. I used to teach economics and SM also, but beta, this I started loving. Now what happened? Think. When I left the college student, I resigned from the college. I think that last particular month, my salary was approximately 1 lakh of rupees. 1 lakh of rupees salary, bacha, when I was getting, I never got take-home salary of 1 lakh rupees. I used to wonder, I used to tell the principal, sir, 1 lakh I never get. Bola, ha re baba, malum hai. Kyo? Why, sir? Bola, Girish, because we have to take money from a salary and contribute towards the provident fund. Oh, provident fund, why, sir? So when you become old, your child doesn't take care of you, you will need medicines. So you need some money to take care of you. So this money will take care of you in your old age. So with that intention, just some amount of money is transferred to the provident fund. And one incentive for us was, if you know, students, to transfer every month 8,333 rupees. In the sense, my salary is to 8.33%, I have to contribute towards the provident fund. So my management also used to contribute 8,333 rupees. So every month 16,000 rupees was getting deposited in my account. And bacha, on that we get good amount of interest also because government kana. So when I retire students, I would get good amount of money. That was the expectation. Now bacha, imagine my income is 1 lakh, but I never got that because I had to pay money towards the provident fund. Gaya. So is that my personal income? That is not my personal income. Why not personal income? Because my personal income is that income which is in my pocket. Which is in my pocket in the sense which I have received. Despite earning 1 lakh rupees, I have not received that 8,333. There was a time, bacha, I used to work in a particular company. They used to deduct from my salary ESI, Employee State Insurance Cost. Why? Everyone in the factory has to contribute towards that. So we are deducting that. So bacha, even that money used to come. Got it? So is that my personal income? That is not my personal. My dear students, income that I earn but I do not receive is not my personal. Ulta. Income that I receive but do not earn is my personal income. Like what? I got some gift. I got some donation. That Marwadi was there, he'll get a dowry. But a dowry, if he gets, what will be that dowry? That will be the dowry income received, but not earned. His father-in-law must have earned. Now, he will enjoy it. Right now, Chennai mein jaake ghumega, right? So what it is, bacha, when I consider personal income, I have to consider the money that I've received, not money I've. So what will be personal disposable income, beta? That's very easy. Suppose my personal income is 1 lakh rupees. I got my salary of 1 lakh rupees, suppose. Out of that, Modi ji is there, Mitro, uncle bolo. Uncle says 30% tax you have to pay. So, bacha, 1 lakh rupees I earned, 30% I paid taxes to him. Right? 30,000 went. Wait. Now imagine, student, Bombay, we are not allowed to go like this out, students. And after my lecture gets over, I get very tired. Today, though, I don't have a proper place to sit also. I'm so uncomfortable with that. Now imagine if I go down for a walk, I think it's more than 1 o'clock. No? It's beyond 1 o'clock as such, or almost about after 1 o'clock. After 11:30, they don't allow us. The other day I went out, students, I was wearing a mask as such, but the mask was down, and I gone to buy something from the DMart. They took me, sir, why you come? Well, sir, DMart closes at 11 o'clock. Now what? 500 rupees fine. Arey, pagal. 500 fine from me, why? They say you'll have to pay. Now the thing is, such kind of idiots, if you start fighting with them, then what is your standard? They say, na, never argue with a fool. Because then people will not understand who is actually a fool. You getting my point? So I had to pay him 500 rupees. Now imagine that money also Modi takes from us. When he was in Calcutta giving those rally speeches, he never wore those masks. Amit Shah was not wearing mask. Mamata Banerjee never wears a mask. So for all these gundas, there is no mask required. For us, it is required. Anyway, so point aside, bacha. So 1,30,000 tax I paid like that. So then one day I was driving as such. I jumped the signal, 2,000 rupees. That time I paid. So this kind of money when I pay to the government as such, it goes away from my personal income. So what is left for me to spend would be my personal disposable income. Hey, beta, please, Chennai, I'm sorry for what happened today, Baja. I'm helpless. And I was struggling for all this since 9 o'clock in the morning. Please pay attention. One topic is there, which I'll start now, is something that they introduced this year. And maybe JK Sir ka book mein that's not given also. But I want to do it as such. I'll do it now. I want you all to pay attention. Very important. I'll do start now, and I know that so many batches have explained, you will understand this. Pay attention. I mean, this part was clear. Per capita income, national income of population. Personal income, just go through it, please, once. Go through this note. शिवम मॉम कभी आएगी कभी आएगी Vansh Doshi, understood beta? Vansh, समझ में आएगी नहीं बेटा? Done ना? चलो let's move ahead. Kela hobe. Okay. So personal income is what? Come on, national income plus income received but not earned. Income received and minus income earned but not received. I'm audible, सुनाई दे रहा है? My God, Shivam. One second. Okay. Audible, am I audible? Let's start. A bit of pay attention. See, this is that particular in personal income ka formula given. What do you have to add? Pay attention. Transfer payment, agreed na? and deduct what? Undistributed corporate profit, social security contribution. I'll explain all this soon. Pay attention. Now, boys and girls, connected to that now, there is a topic that introduced this year only called as what is private income. Please, this is important. Private income till last year was not there in the syllabus. This year they have introduced, and they have asked 2-3 sums also on this. So private income we should know. And you will know today, bacha. First tell me, am I audible? Beta, listen. Now, how to understand private income? Now, listen. First, let me explain, then you can write down. One thing we all understand, NNP at factor cost, which is there now, is actually the country's national income. This is clear? NNP at factor cost is the country's national income. I repeat, NNP at factor cost is the country's national income. Now, beta, all of you should be very clear by this time. My country is a mixed economy. So when I say mixed economy, I mean what? There is coexistence of the public sector and private sector. So beta, NNP at factor cost, which is there now, we actually get this from 2 different sectors. Mind you all now understand, now it will become very, very big confusing. So I'll try to make it simple, but still understand. I said my country's national income is NNP at factor cost. NNP at factor cost we are getting on account of 2 different sectors, public sector and private sector. This is clear. Public sector, bacha, is nothing else but government sector. Any doubts over here? No doubts, huh? Now, bacha, if you ask me what is private income, I will say now, private income is the income accruing to the private sector. Private income is the income accruing to the private sector. So, beta, if I'm saying accruing to the private sector, I actually mean it is not for the government sector. It is not for the government sector. Now, listen and understand this properly. If I want to know private income, then how do I find out? So, beta, first thing you have to do is what? Whatever income the government sector has earned, you have to remove that. Remove the income that the government has earned from the country. Can see using, sir. Hey, listen, sir, pay attention. I repeat, beta. Country's national income is NNP at factor cost. This NNP at factor cost is because of 2 sectors, private and public. I want to know private income. Private income is of the private sector. Then with a public sector which was there, its contribution I have to remove. If its contribution I have to remove, that means I have to remove the contribution of government sector. Now you should know government sector is in what form. So beta, pay attention. Government in India does business in 2 different ways. First, government has some particular departmental undertakings. Now, what is departmental undertaking? Very easy. My country, beta, when you have a particular department like Indian Railways, you know how to manage railway, bacha, we have set up a separate department. For post and telegraph, there is a separate department. For defense, there is a separate department. Now, bacha, this particular departmental undertaking which is there, now, it conducts business like railways, post and telegraph. They make profit. So whatever profit departmental undertakings are made, we have to remove that particular profit. Second, beta, in my country, we have non-departmental undertakings. Mind you all properly. Non-departmental undertakings will be what? Very easy. Where non-departmental undertakings will be those particular undertakings which are not started by the government in the form of department, but government is doing business. Example number one, LIC. LIC is a big business. Hey, beta, you know, na, of all the insurance companies in the world, LIC is the most, what? It's the most, yes, financially stable company. Today also, bacha, if all the policies come for maturity, na, LIC has so much money, it can give it to everyone. We feel so happy. So LIC, bacha, there is a particular company you must have heard, MTNL. Right now, there is Indian Oil Corporation, HPCL, BPCL. Hey, come on, beta. BPCL, so you must be knowing na, Bharat Petroleum, Hindustan Petroleum, Indian Oil Corporation, LIC, MTNL. MTNL क्या होता है? What is MTNL? Mahanagar Telephone Nigam Limited, beta. Now, please understand, if I want to know private income, I want to know the income to the private sector. Private sector का बच्चा income के लिए I have to remove the government sector का income. So these two income I have to deduct. Then bachcha, from that I'll get private income. Now wait, when I say I get that private income, what am I getting, bachcha? I am getting actually NNP at factor cost, which is accruing to the private sector. But beta, this particular income which is there now, I told you purposely, students, कि private income के अंदर we will also add the transfer incomes. What transfer income? So I think I told you on personal income, I did tell na what personal income I told you. National income, we did not included what, come on, tell me, transfer income. We only, listen, beta, national income included only factor income. Here we should consider what, transfer income also. So, bacha, in this I will add now. What will I add? Interest on national debt. Pay attention now. Interest on national debt का मतलब क्या? Imagine your dad. He says, Someshwar, I have deposited money in Provident Fund. I have deposited money in post office. So, bacha, your dad is actually giving loan to the government. And that is government ke liye national debt. On that, government gives you interest. So, bacha, tell me, if I am getting interest, then is that earned income or unearned income? Unearned income, na? So add interest on national debt. Plus, come on, what can the other thing? Transfer income, students. Current transfers from the government. What is this current transfer from the government? Imagine there is a person who's retired student, he's getting pension. There are person who are unemployed, so government is giving unemployment allowance. Someshwar stands first in Chennai student, so he'll get scholarship. So bacha, scholarship will be what, come on, tell me? Transfers from the government, and this is not earned. He was not preparing for the scholarship, but he worked hard, he get that particular money. Chalo, kya bola, kya chat mein beta? Yeah, subsidies. Now, bacha, then you have current transfers from rest of the world. What is current transfer from rest of the world? Very easy. You have your relatives abroad, you have your parents abroad as such, they make money and then they send money to you in this particular country. Wait. With this students, NNP at factor, suno beta, please understand. This is, you just got NNP at factor cost. Now, NNP at factor cost, may I add this all transfer income? Now what I'm getting is the actual private income. So in the exam, students, when they ask you a sum, you will be given information about what, pay attention, NNP at factor cost. गवर्नमेंट सेक्टर का डिपार्टमेंटल नॉन they'll change twist the language. They have a right to twist the language. They'll twist. I'll tell you what they can ask. Then bacha, what is left is NNP at factor cost accruing to the private sector. Then when you add all this, you get the private income. Is it clear? You get what? Private income. Now in private income, bacha, we will add a few more things and we'll deduct a few more things. Then we'll get personal income. And from personal income, we'll deduct a few things. Then we'll get personal disposable income. But for that, wait, it's too early. I'll give you a simple example. Take this case. Suppose I say NNP at factor cost is 1,000 rupees. Now, out of the departmental undertaking, students is making, let us say, 100. Non-departmental is making 200. So, bacha, private income accruing is what? Come on, 700. Now, interest on net debt that government gives us 50 rupees. I'll write here. Pension, all this government gives us another 50 rupees. And you've got from rest of the world, let us say, 10 rupees. So this total comes to 810 rupees, which is accruing to the private sector. Now, beta, remember, private income jab aata hai na, so when I earn income, I have to pay income tax now. So, bacha, private income when they earn, they have to pay corporate tax. Bolo, what they have to pay? Corporate tax. So now I have to deduct from that corporate tax. And then, bacha, what I'll be left with will be, come on, personal income. And then I'll still make 2-3 deduction. But that's all for the day. I'm very tired, shoots. Next lecture I'll continue in the proper arrangement. I hope something you have understood today. Everything understood now? Any doubts, Veda? Yeah? Any doubts? Someshwar? Doubts you're saying yes, yes, no, 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 Veda? Chalo, that's it. Thank you very much. God bless you, students. When is the next lecture? Next lecture, when is the next lecture? Today we have your next lecture also. Next lecture is on next lecture tomorrow. You don't have a lecture on Monday. Today is what? Saturday. Monday 6:30 na. Monday lecture is there na. Monday 6:30. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, brother. Thank you. God bless you. Bye.